Hey y'all, hey, it's JJ Conway. Welcome to Building Wealth Together, where our goal is to help you walk in abundance and leave a legacy. It's Wealth Building Wednesday, where we answer your money questions with style and grace. To ask your question, go to buildingwealthtogether.com and click Ask JJ or leave a voicemail at 1-833-4-ASK-JJC. Let's get into it. This is part 2 of our pro rata plan for people who can't pay their bills. If you can't pay your bills, this is part 2. And if you didn't hear part 1, go on out there to YouTube or any other place you download your podcast and go download last week's Wealth Building Wednesday on what to do when you can't pay your bills. All right, let's get into it. If the Lord hasn't put it in your hands, he ain't giving it to you to give. And I don't care what anybody else says. When people come at me because they think I have all this money, I'm like, look, I finally got to zero net worth a couple years ago. We're trying to rebuild, but college and all the other things, the things. Like, I don't know. Right? But people come at me all the time. And if the Lord give it to me to give, I give it. Now I don't give to them. You come asking me for money, I already know the answer is no, because the Lord and me, we have an understanding. The Lord is never going to touch my heart to give to somebody who asks me for money. Ooh, what? Yeah, me and the Lord have that understanding because I got a big heart and I will give and do, and I will pay your way to the meeting and I will do all the things, and then I will have enabled instead of empowered. And so when I go into prayer about it, me and the Lord have that understanding. But your church is doing a fundraiser, I just want to give. You're doing a building fund, I just want to give. You're doing a fund to raise money for missionaries, I just want to give. And my big heart wants to give. And one of the things that I had to learn is if the Lord didn't put it in my hand to give, then he hasn't given it to me to give. So I have to let somebody else rise up to the occasion. And sometimes we cut off other people's blessings by giving what we don't have, or we cut off other people's blessings by giving what we're supposed to pay for the rent, or giving what we're supposed to pay for our child's lunches. Like, how you think your child gonna eat? Oh, I know ain't nobody else in here ever dug through a trash can because they were hungry. How you think your child gonna eat? You teaching them to scam? We're not teaching people to scam. Why do I sound so mean? I'm not trying to sound mean. I love you. I love you. I do. You're watching me. I love you. Look, I love you just because you're watching me. I really, really love you. But look at the long-term repercussions of what we are doing with our money, what we're doing with our time, what we're doing with our relationships. And a lot of it happens under the name of the church. And I'm a pastor, so I can say that. All right. So we're gonna spend less than we make, and we're not gonna spend what we don't have, and we're not gonna make the hole deeper. Okay, we got this big financial hole, and we've got a teeny tiny shovel. We're just gonna do the best we can do within sound financial guidelines. But the first thing we're doing, we're gonna stop making the hole bigger by spending less than we make. Then we're gonna cut everything out that's not required for our four walls. And we are not going to pay other people before we take care of our four walls. Well, JJ, what am I going to do if I don't pay this credit card bill? They're going to sue me. I'm going to teach you how to not get sued. All right. Let me tell you why people sue people who don't pay their bills. Okay. If it's a family member, they petty. All right. I can't help you with that. But if it's a legit business and they're going to sue you, it's because you have not given them the confidence that you are going to pay them. And it's not that hard. It's embarrassing, it's tough, it's meticulous, and it's tedious. And some of us, it just eats us alive. But it works. And the simple strategy is called a pro rata letter. What's a pro rata letter? Well, first let me explain pro rata, and then I'm going to explain the pro rata letter. Okay. If you cannot pay your bills every month, what you're going to do, you're going to cover your four walls. You're going to cover your basic housing, your transportation, your food, you're going to cover your utilities. Okay. You might even need to cover basic clothing. I've sometimes seen people lump utilities in with housing and put clothing as a fourth wall. But most of us, if we found on hard times tomorrow, we got enough clothes to make it a couple months. Okay. But if it drags on, then yeah, we're going to need some basic clothing. Again, we're not talking about Gucci. We're not talking about Louis. All right. We're talking about the basic necessities to get us through this time. Okay. No bison steaks up in here. I laugh. I think I was saying that I laugh with my husband about how bougie we get and how much money we spend on food. But I remember the time when we didn't. I even after I was climbing out of that $800,000 of debt, y'all. When Cubby was born, I was stationed in D.C. My husband was in Texas, so he was in Texas. I was in D.C. Do you know my rent was $1,800 a month? Do you know my child care was $450 a month on a 5-week month? How much is that? 2650. Y'all, my child care costs more than my rent. And well, everybody can't afford that. What did everybody else do? You know what everybody else did? They went to undocumented workers to care for their children. Well, I had enough abuse in daycares when I was growing up. I got abused all different kinds of ways in daycares when I grew up. I wasn't putting my kid into daycare. I would to God that I wouldn't have to work anyway, but it wasn't my plan. It wasn't my plan to be a working mom, but it's just kind of how life happened. And I'm glad that y'all are on there. Thank you all for being on today. But I'm telling you today, sometimes life just happens. And when Cubby came along, I had had 4 miscarriages. The doctors told me I was never going to have children again. The last miscarriage was stillborn at 5 months. When the Cubby came along, I did not believe I was going to have this baby. And so, yes, I probably could have found a cheaper daycare if I had believed I was actually going to have this baby. I honestly didn't think I was going to have him till about the fifth month. The fifth month passed, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is really going to happen. I'm really going to have this baby. And then it was like, oh no, I don't have daycare. I didn't have a crib. I didn't have a nursery. I didn't have nothing. Y'all, I didn't have a date. I didn't have a car seat. I didn't have nothing. Diapers, nothing. Because in my mind, in my heart, in my psyche, it was just going to be another loss. Mhm. So I wasn't even prepared. And so some of that is my fault, but the reality is it doesn't matter whose fault it is. It's the situation you got to deal with right now. And I had to deal with the fact that my daycare, y'all, it was $2,200 on a 4-week month and $2,650 on a 5-week month. Y'all, I couldn't see anything back then. And let me tell you, we weren't eating no bison steaks. We weren't having shrimp on the Barbie on Sundays. We weren't doing all the things we do now. We were not, because we knew we had to abide by sound financial principles. And the Air Force, they paid me a lot of locality pay to live in the DC area, but they didn't pay me that much. No, they didn't. All right. So we're going to cover our 4 walls. Okay. If you do have kids and daycare is a thing, then we do want to cover that. But I'm also going to encourage you to sit down with me and actually go through those calculations, because I had a young lady that I was working with. She was about to have a surprise 5th child. Um, and we started calculating it out. And I was like, look, you already live an hour away, and you have all this money you're spending to daycare. Here's how much it costs for an infant. Here's how much you were making. Y'all, her entire paycheck once this baby came, because her other ones were older, so they didn't need before and after care. They didn't all need all the care. They only needed like a little bit of care. But when the infant came, this is that same area where childcare was like 2,000 a month, right? I was like, this is what you make. This is what you spend on gas. Your husband's got a new job, so y'all can't ride together anymore. He's driving to one area of the DC Metroplex, and you're driving to another one. What are you working for? You're basically working to put your kids into daycare. You're working to cover the gas to go to job, to go to a job and say you have a job. Which for some of us, I get. I really get. I'm going to tell you, I didn't think it was going to hit me because I love being mom to my kids. But one of the things that I do miss is how important I felt when I put that uniform on and people were like, Lieutenant Colonel Conway, right? And now I'm just an overweight, stuffy mom. It's a whole night and day. And there are times when I miss that. There are times when I miss all the good stuff I got done and all the moving and shaking and all the high level meetings I used to be in. And I'm okay with that, because I'm at that stage in my life where where the fact that this one still wants mom to sit with him until he falls asleep, that's still precious to me, you know. The big one, he lasted until 10 years, and then he didn't need mama anymore. So I think I got a year and a half left with this guy. But you know, that's precious to me, and I'm okay with that. But some of us haven't gotten there yet. Some of us, that's important to. You got to question, why are you making the decisions you're making with your money? Are you making a decision with your money because it's important to you to be needed? It's important to you to feel like you've accomplished something. It's important to you to have that job. Maybe that's not the right answer right now. Is the importance of how you earn your money keeping you from taking a second or third job that might allow you to make more money? And I get it, y'all. I get it. I'm not driving Uber. I'm not driving Lyft. I'll take a Lyft driver. I'll take an Uber driver. And the last one almost convinced me because it seems like it's a lot more safer now. But I don't know who's getting in that car. And I know plenty of single ladies who drive both of them, and they tougher than me. And I'm like, good for you. But you know what? I found a way to make money. I help people get out of debt. With to God that I don't ever have to do that. But if I had to, would I be willing to humble myself? I remember when I was in the military and I was 800 something thousand dollars in debt. So I was a major at the time of my divorce. And you know, I wanted to get an extra job, and the approvals you have to go through to get an extra job. I found out I can't do what some of those financial planners uh, teach. They say like, "Oh, go get a job delivering pizzas." I can't deliver pizza. What I look like? I show up at one of my troops' doors, one of my airmen's doors, delivering a pizza. You know, like they actually had those kinds of restrictions on what you could and couldn't do because they didn't want to disrupt discipline and good order. Right. And so sometimes we find ourselves in those situations, but whatever situation you're in, I'm telling you right now, there's no situation, there's no money situation you can present to me that I'm ever going to say, oh, yeah, well, that's one I can't handle. The only situation that you're not going to be able to climb yourself out of is the one you don't think you can climb yourself out of. I'm here to tell you it can be done if you follow these principles. So you're going to spend less than you make. You're going to cover your four walls, okay? And then we're going to do the rest of it according to pro rata. Now, what pro rata means is fair share, okay? So let's say we're going to keep the numbers round. I know some of you live in places where this is like ridiculously low, but some of you actually live in places where this is not too terribly bad. You know, it's still poverty line, but it's not too terribly bad. All right. So let's just say I'm making $1,000 a month, and to cover my rent, because I finally bit the bullet and took on a roommate, or maybe I'm Airbnb in a room out or something like that. But to cover what I need to cover for my rent, my portion of the rent is maybe $400. That's still a little high on $1,000 income, but it can be done, right? Food, my basic transportation, and all those things. When the time all my four walls are covered, I done cut out Netflix, I done cut out Hulu Plus, I done cut out Disney Plus, I done cut out Amazon Prime. Oh, the Amazon Prime, that hurts. That hurts. But I cut out Amazon Prime. I put my cell phone on vacation mode, and I got me a Google Voice number to carry me through the next couple of months, just to give my finances a little breathing room. I done put my cable on vacation mode. I put this and that. I done called all my credit card companies, and I said, I can't continue to pay. Please put me on a hardship plan. They've closed all your accounts, and they have now just put you on a 5-year plan. The good news with that is they take you off of the interest and all that stuff. So you don't have to worry about that anymore, but you can't use the card because I'm committed to my future. And I know that if I ever really, really, really need another credit card, then by the time I clean all this up, there'll be 20 million of them offering me to come back. All right. But right now, I'm taking care of my financial future. I have done all these things to cut all these costs. And at the end of the month, I got $100 left over when I pay my four walls and I pay my basic things that I need. I got $100 left over. So with that $100 left over, now we pay off everybody who isn't a four walls. We pay Dillard's, we pay the credit card, we pay Chase, we pay whoever else is on there that needs to be paid. You might even throw, Uncle Frankie and Tommy on there. You done took out a loan with your uncle. You took money from grandma. We might need to put grandma on that pro rata list, but she's not getting the $50 a month that you told her you would give her. She probably gonna end up getting 5 or 2 or 3 or something to that effect. Whatever it is, we take all your other bills and we do a proportional fair share. So I'm going to pretend that after my four walls, all I've got is three bills. Okay. I better write this down so I don't forget what I'm doing because I'll forget my numbers. Okay. Let's just say I've got three bills left over. Okay, I'm paying my mortgage, my rent. I was foolish enough to buy a car on a payment plan instead of just paying for it up front. I have a car note. I've got my basic food, my utilities, things like that. I got $100 left every month, and I've got three additional bills that I just can't pay off of that. One of those, we're going to put that as Dillard's. All right, Dillard's, and their bill is 300 a month. Okay. And then I got a Chase card because when I thought I was going to get a job, and I thought I was going to get a job, and I thought this people were going to hire me, and I thought I was going to get this bonus for coming onto this job, and none of that stuff panned out. But every month I was using the card to pay for food and pay for gas and pay for things. So now I owe Chase, and their minimum payment is 500 a month. Okay. So I got Dillard's at 300 because, I thought I had to dress for success and show up to my interview in brand new clothes. So I foolishly ran up the Dillard's card. Plus, I was doing a little retail therapy because it made me feel better to go shopping, and I could just charge, charge, charge. And when everything worked out, I knew I could just pay it all off. Famous last words. All right. So, but I owe Chase $500 a month. And then my dear kitty, who I just love so much, she got sick. She got sick, and I had to go to what do you call it? The care place, the care loan. The care loan they have for pets. Somebody drop that in the chat because I can't remember what it is. It's a loan for pets. When your pet is sick and you don't have money to take care of your sick pet, you can go and get this care loan. And this care loan covers the cost of getting your pet care, get their surgeries and whatever, right? And then you got to pay. That thing has a crazy interest rate. All right. So my dear cat had an issue, and I couldn't afford it. And now my care loan is $200 a month minimum. Okay. I paid everything else with my four walls, but I only got left $100. But I got $1,000 worth of bills here. 300 to Dillard's, 500 to Chase, and 200 to the pet people. All right. Care. I don't know. I don't see it. Somebody drop that in the chat for me. All right. Pro rata means this $100 is all I got left. I ain't paying anybody what they owe or what they want, because I only got 100. Care people want 200. I don't have 200. I only got 100. So what am I going to do with the 100? I'm going to take the 100 and I'm going to give them their fair share. So out of all of my debt, that's why I made these numbers round, y'all. You see what I did there? Anybody who likes math, you see what I did here. What I did here is I got $1,000 of debt. And when I do the percentages, Dillard's gets 30%. The debt that I owe, the monthly payment I owe Dillard's is 30% of what I owe outside of my four walls. What I owe Chase is 50%. Okay. I owe Chase 50% of all the other things I owe outside of my four walls. I owe the pet people. I don't know where somebody give me the name because I'm going to keep calling them the pet people. All right. I owe the pet people $200 a month, but that's 20% of all the money I have to pay out every month in addition to my four walls. That's 20%. Okay. So that's their fair share of what I have left over. Dillard's gets 30% of what I have left over. Chase gets 50% of what I have left over. Pet people get 20% of what I have left over. Pet people ain't getting $200. They're getting 20. Dillard's isn't getting $300. They're getting 30. Let me say that again. Dillard's isn't getting $300. They're getting 30. Chase ain't getting $500. They're getting 50. They're getting their fair share of the money I have left over. And that's all they're getting, because I'm done building the hole deeper. And here's what I'm going to do. This is where people fail. This is where people get sued. This is where people don't listen and they have suffer the consequences. I need you to hear me. If this is an issue for you, you have to call these people and write these people or email these people or however you interact with their customer service and let them know you are going to eventually pay them in full. How am I ever going to pay them when I owe 500 a month and all I can give them is 50? They're going to sue me. They're not going to sue you because you're going to send them a pro rata letter with every bill that you write that $50 check. And in your pro rata letter, you're going to say, I had this issue happen. I'm in way over my head financially. I'm getting my life back together. I owe you this much. But as you can see from my basic bare bones budget, all I got left every month is $100. See, this is why you got to cut all the stuff out. Because everybody and their brother tells the credit card company, I can't pay my bills. Well, what they really mean is, I got to have a nice birthday party for my kiddo. I got to buy a new big screen TV for the big game. I got to have a nice Christmas for my family. I got to get new furniture because my aunties are coming over for Easter. See, that's what the credit card company hears when most of the people, 99% of the people say they can't pay. You got to prove it to them. You got to make sure they know every time they look at your account, this person is going to give me my money. I don't need to spend a lawyer fee to sue them. They going to give me my money. Now, in the vast majority of cases, you're not going to have to give them your money. You're going to do this for about 6 months to a year, and they're going to be like, you know what? We appreciate you. We're going to strike this off. Okay. Or we know what? We appreciate you. We're going to lower your balance. We're going to negotiate. We're going to boom, 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 boom. Okay. But see, you can't start it that way. That's where a lot of people fail, because what happens is people come to me, how do I get the credit card company to settle for pennies on the dollar? Well, you know what? Before they settle, they're going to pull all kinds of legal tricks on you. And I don't think you want them shenanigans in your life. I think you would rather go this route. Oh, well, I'm just going to file bankruptcy. Okay, first of all, the bankruptcy lawyer, not knocking bankruptcy lawyers, good ones are worth their weight in gold. But first of all, the bankruptcy lawyer going to cost you $2,500, $3,000, up to $5,000, depending on what market you're in. And you know what the bankruptcy lawyer is going to do? The bankruptcy lawyer is going to help negotiate almost the exact same payment plan that you would have been on if you'd have done the same thing I'm doing. Only this way you do it for free and you avoid having bankruptcy on your record. That's a win-win. And y'all know I love the win-win-wins. All right. So I'm going to write a letter. I'm going to explain to Dillards, Chase, and the pet people that I'm on hard times. I can't pay my bills. I'm trying to get it all together. Here's my bare bones budget. Here's what I make. All I got left there at the end of the month after I pay my rent and my utilities and some basic food is $100 a month. And now I'm going to give you your fair share of that, which is $30. And you're going to write that letter every single month. You're going to write that $30 check every single month. And you are going to do that and repeat on repeat on repeat on repeat till you either get more money and give them more and write a new letter, or until they strike off the balance so you don't have to pay the rest of it anymore, or until you get it caught up. And when you come out of the other side, I'm telling you, this is hard to do. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing to write all those letters. It's embarrassing to send all those letters. Sometimes the people call you and they're just so mean to you. They just treat you so bad when they're trying to get your money out of it because they think you're lying. But if you put it the way I'm telling you to put it and you send it every month, they are going to realize you're serious and they're not going to waste their time suing you. And you will be able to slowly, but surely climb out of this mess. And when you do, you will be able to pay off your debts. And when you do, you'll be able to build yourself up a savings so that the next time life happens, it doesn't have to hit you as hard. The next time the water heater breaks, you've got money in the savings to get it fixed. The next time a tire blows, you've got money in savings to patch it up or to replace it. That's what I want for you, that feeling of financial security, knowing that no matter what happens, you're going to be all right. And I'm here to tell you, you're going to be all right. I know it stinks to be in the situation where you can't pay your bills. I was making six figures and I couldn't pay my bills, 800 something thousand dollars in debt. I had to call them up and say, I can't pay. And I found that because I had been a good client for a lot of the companies were very gracious with me. But mortgage company gave me 2 months reprieve. They didn't even do a loan modification. They just gave me 2 months. Because I'd been moving around with the military and taking loans with them for years. And they knew that I was a good client. You know, um, you've got to be able to show them that you're going to eventually pay, and then they won't sue you. But it all starts with making that foundational determination that you are going to spend less than you make. And for any of us, even if we make plenty of money, we need to make the determination that we are going to spend less than we make. We're going to be strategic about our spending so that we have something to invest and we have something to save and we have something to give. Should probably be in the other order. We have something to give and we have something to invest and we have something to save. Nope, I like a different order. So we have something to save and we have something to give and we have something to invest and then we have something to live on. Because we were supposed to have abundant life. My favorite book says that my Savior came that I might have life and that more abundantly. It's the thief that comes to steal, kill, and destroy. And the thief has been stealing, killing, and destroying many of us through our finances for far too long. Now, if you've enjoyed what I've said today, if you've felt encouraged by this lesson, I want to encourage you to join me every first Tuesday. We do a group coaching call. And if you will, it should be at the bottom of the screen, jjclink.com/group. Let me see if I can put it in the chat. Okay. I'm going to encourage you to join me. And if you are on this and you reach out to me in the next 24 hours, I will give you a free 3-month membership into this group coaching because I feel so strongly about these concepts and about the fact that you can make it in a world that tries to tell you that you can't. The world wants to make you feel less than. The world wants to make you feel bad about yourself. The world wants to make you feel like there's all hope is lost. Why? Because they know that's how they can get your money out of you. And I'm here to show you how to be that wise steward and use the money that you've been given to glorify the Lord through your life, through the life of your family, and through the changes and impact in your community. And in our group coaching package, in our group coaching program, we come together as a group, and anybody who has a question, we walk through it. You have a business idea, we walk through it. You want to talk through a real estate deal, we walk through it. We walk through all those things in our private Zoom room every first Tuesday at 11 a.m. Central. All right. I don't think I see any questions. So that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for being with me online. Make sure to invite a friend and be sure to tell them that our podcast will be coming back in about 2 weeks. I can't wait. If you are in the Metroplex, I encourage you to join me Saturday morning in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. I encourage you to join me Saturday morning. I am hosting a women's conference, our Elect Ladies Conference. We're having a women's seminar at North Dallas Worship Center at 10 o'clock featuring Bishop Mary Butler. And then I will be delivering an encouraging, uplifting, and I like to think empowering word Sunday morning, 10 a.m. North Dallas Worship Center. After the Saturday seminar, the ladies are going to go out to lunch. And I'll admit that I'm probably going to beg out of lunch a little early because it is my auntie's homegoing. Okay, so she's in PA. Well, I mean, she's in heaven, but the family's in PA. Oh, this is bad. The family's in PA, so I'm going to see if they'll do a stream or something and be able to watch online if they're able to do that. If not, I'm probably going to just take some time and just honor her in my own way. So what I'm trying to say is don't be late to lunch because I might not be there. Okay, that's all I've got for you today. I hope you've enjoyed that. Y'all take care and be blessed.
Love the podcast? Be sure to like, subscribe, and forward to 3 friends. You can ask a question or take a life-changing class at buildingwealthtogether.com. Now, go walk in abundance and leave a legacy.